back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up? It's Deja.
And if you've never been here before, welcome me, welcome you. We talk a cross section between pop culture and real life. Today, we are here to discuss Honeypot.
Baby, some
There
shit
was a
has gone
dust.
down.
There was a dust up.
A
So,
dust up.
if you're not familiar with the controversy and the mess, Honeypot is a black-owned feminine health product company. So they make washes and pads, liners, tampons, cups. They do the
Feminine
whole
products.
intimate products. I mean, it's not intimate, right? I mean, it's just what we need. So, like menstrual health for people with vaginas is what they say. So, they weren't initially all organic, but they used some organic plant derived stuff. And the owner was very clear that she was struggling with having continual BV infections, and the ancestors had come to her and given her the formulation,
Bitch.
a message for the formulation of this product, and that's where it came from. So, in the meantime, she changed some of the formulation
Of the products.
although of the
Period.
products.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's debatable what she actually did to the products, but she changed some of the formulations. We'll get into that. And the thing that said organic was no longer on the packaging. So it seemed like, okay, so let me just go forward and then we'll come back to that. But it there was a big outcry of people like, what happened here? I was using your products because you're a black owned company. Then there was like some weird side conversation about whether she had sold her company,
Child.
and calling her a sellout. And apparently she has also in the past talked about how she fully intended to sell this company at some point.
It,
So um back to the so that's the whole thing, and she got a whole bunch of backlash, and she did some very inadequate statements by a lot of people's
no
uh,
PR.
estimations. They were very non-PR, very inadequate. So going back just a little bit to the organic thing, apparently the organic stuff only applied to certain ingredients that were organic. It was never that the whole entire product was organic. Um,
Swindle.
so, that's the long and short of it. What what thoughts do you have? I have some unpopular opinions, and I'm gonna just say that right off the top. But go ahead.
So, full disclosure, I'm a honeypot supporter. I
As
still
am I.
buy all the products.
Same.
I've never been really much of a user of the wash per se because um my kitty cat likes different things and
Yeah, I
and
tried it. Was not a
she's
fan.
okay, but she don't really vibe with the honey pot wash. It's okay though. um for me, what I noticed in the last, I think, because I order directly from the site, so that because Target, one, don't never have none of the shit that I'm looking for. So I order directly from the site and I order in bulk. And so what I noticed is that they either have a new manufacturer or distributor or whatever the case, because
Mm-hmm.
like the quality has gone down a
Hmm.
touch. And so to hear from the girls over on Twitter and TikTok that the organic labeling is like gone and non-existent, I'm just kind of like, oh well, that's fucking disappointing. But now it makes sense as to why I was getting, like my order, and then it would be a specific item, but then that item was not in the packaging. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, what the fuck is going on here? And it was a couple of things that I had ordered that were like that. Like they
Yeah.
were just made wrong, period.
Yeah. I
So
think
um
I think that's the only thing that I have a gripe with her about. I think she just could have done a better job of communicating that she was having to change some things and why she was having to change some things.
mm-hmm.
and just been more clear and transparent from the jump. And I feel that no one would have jumped on her
I
because
mean,
I think
having had a prepared statement would have been better, and her not necessarily delivering said statement to the point of Demetria Lucas,
yeah,
Demetria L. Lucas.
yeah.
Because like some of her statements initially weren't good, and then later were not better. So it's just kind of like that's what PR people are for, baby. Get with them.
Yeah, I thought she could have just done it on the front end, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that you have to make a bunch of changes for whatever the reason is, then you should just say that on the front end
Mm-hmm.
and announce it to your customers. Because at the end of the day, I know as a Black woman, Black women want to support other Black women.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you had to change certain things, I still think they would have gotten behind you if you had have explained it. And so the reason why I said something about this debatable what she actually changed is because some like chemicist on TikTok back actually like broke down the ingredients and was like, yeah, I don't really know if she really changed all that much. The only thing she did was add a few more things for shelf life, essentially. Some
Because you gotta have
preservatives for
preservatives.
shelf
I
life.
mean, it is what it is.
So it's like, what did she really change anything? And I don't know the answer to that question. But I just think you should just be as upfront with your audience, especially when your audience is Black people, and especially when your audience is Black women and people
Yeah.
flocked to go support you. You have to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, a lot of these companies, when they scale, they have to change things. And that's not just Black owned companies, that's all companies when they have to scale to large volume, to especially in the climate we're in where
Yeah.
things are not available.
Yeah.
You know, if things are not available to us on the supermarket shelves, can you
It's damn
imagine
sure
what it's
not
like?
available to companies.
Hello. So, you know, I think she could have just been honest about that from the jump. But where I took issue, and where I always take issue, even though she has not sold her company, she has mentioned that she wants to sell her company at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I take issue with this idea of being a sellout.
Hmm.
I don't like it.
Okay, say more about that.
I don't like it because, again, as a business minded person, people sell their companies. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I understand, like, there's this emotional attachment of, like, oh, it's Black owned, it's Black owned. We got to support our own. And we
Mm-hmm.
want to support these companies. But, like, what do you want to support about its founders? Because its founders are people and they may have dreams and goals outside of producing products over and over again. So I have two
Mm-hmm.
examples. First example, Shea Moisture. Rich Dennis sold his company. The people were upset. However, Rich Dennis also, and he has been problematic
Mm-hmm.
after said time. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
using him as a business
That's
case.
why I have the face.
As a business case, not as a person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he sold Shea Moisture and he used that money, assumingly, to buy Essence and to keep that magazine on the shelves and to create. Yes, he did.
I don't
And
think I knew that.
and he created a incubator program, which again, I have nothing to say about how, great it is or whatever, but he created an incubator program for other Black owned businesses. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
okay,
I heard that.
he doesn't own his product anymore. However, maybe he had a bigger goal and he couldn't do that as the CEO and founder running a Shea Moisture.
True. I don't know.
Elizabeth Price.
I don't have issue with companies selling to major corporations, like Black owned companies selling to major corporations and getting the business. What I have issue with is these major corporations who don't have like Black leadership on board to assist in the selling of product to our community.
I don't
That's my
I
issue.
I do not disagree with you there. I don't disagree with you there. My other example was Lisa Price, Carol's daughter. She sold as
Yeah, I was
well.
thinking about Carol's
And
daughter.
she stayed with, I don't know if she's still there, but she stayed with them for a while.
Yeah, she's like the
And
head still. Mm-hmm.
helped to do the transition or whatever. But it's like this idea, and it seems like she's just having a lovely life. And like, as much as we talk about hmm, wanting to see Black people thrive and stuff, it's like at a certain point, you're demanding, in order to not be a sellout, you're demanding that these founders stay on at these companies that are working them to death. Like, don't you want their founders to have luxury and
Black,
peace
that's
and
right.
joy,
Yeah.
or be able to pursue something else that they wanted, that they dreamed about? And I honestly feel, and I don't know what the answer to, I mean, I my answer is that we should have more Black venture capital funds, but and more Black conglomerate
Mm-hmm.
company,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but so that it can stay within the family, but at the same time, and they can sell, but it could be still Black owned to some
Mm-hmm.
extent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a long-term vision. Like, I feel these founders, they have done the work and they deserve to be able to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't want to do a job anymore, we quit that hoe and
Mm-hmm.
find something else. And I feel like asking these founders to like stay on for the sake of not selling out is insane. And let's be honest, like, it costs money, a lot of money, to run these companies, and sometimes they sell because they need to scale, they need the capital. So it's like, I don't know, that idea of selling out has always just irritated the crap out of me. Like,
I
I
think people say that it's a
genuinely,
selling out thing primarily because from the standpoint of like it's the product is now going to become whitewashed.
yeah.
Because like when I started seeing the white girls talking about they was using Shea Moisture, I was like,
Yeah, I remember that dust up too, because it was like a whole bunch of white women in this
what
commercial.
is going on? Or
But
like
also,
the racially ambiguous campaign, or not campaigning, but like, propaganda. Like what is going on?
but even with that, I felt like, and I think I said this at the time on the platform that we used to have, I just felt like they were booting up for acquisition and they wanted to appeal to a wide variety of people. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, as
Probably because they
far,
were told that they needed to appeal to a wide variety of people, which is an
maybe,
issue
but
with Black and brown companies when they go before like
maybe,
Shark Tanks, so to speak.
yes, yeah, the prime example of that being the lip bar. But
Yeah, they be wanting us to appeal to middle America. And it's like, okay, but if middle America that you're talking about is don't look like me, then I'm not appealing to them. So like what's next?
I guess my question is, like, what is the problem with that? I get it, we want to have certain things for ourselves, but what is the problem with that? You know,
Problem with what?
appealing
Exactly.
to middle America or appealing to a wider variety of people. Look at how large Shea Moisture's line is. It's huge. There is
Mm-hmm.
no way that they're selling all of that crap without appealing to more people than just Black people. Also, when people are advertised on BET or on the TV ones or on the channels or in between Black shows, they do a specialized marketing campaign for things that run on Black channels. They use
Mm-hmm.
Black people. So what is the
Mm-hmm.
problem with a Shea Moisture, or what is the problem with a company saying, "Hey, okay, we want to run this on another channel, so let's do some more, you know,
But the thing is, I think the problem comes in the fact that
I
like
don't know."
however the line was created, it was created for people of color, period. So to then say we want to appeal to X, Y, and Z, well, don't these products aren't these products supposed to be for people who look like me? So like my thing is like, okay, fine, do that. Make it for everybody, but also make like I think part of me is just kind of like with the Shea Moisture thing, what products were created for those who don't look like us?
I don't think there were any special products created for them. I think that was just to show them
Exactly.
that they can use our products too. they can
Like,
use
I
the
feel like
money
that's
to
also a problem too. Like, companies will create so that they can be more marketable. They'll create products that suit the white gaze. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's the bias that I have a little
yeah.
bit to a degree about like some things are just not for everybody. Like, I'm not gonna go wanting expecting a company like, well, Living Proof does make products for now. They make products for natural hair as it relates to like the
Mm-hmm.
Black people. But like for a long time, Living Proof was more so for my white girls. And I'd be like, boo,
Yeah.
this smell great. You should put this in your hair. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I, you know, because I worked in a spa, so I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Like, yeah, this is good product and it has great ingredients. Like, and I would sell that, but I didn't have an expectation that they would have things for me.
Right.
And I think, like, on a larger scale, people of color often end up sort of catering to a white audience, and like that's not fair.
I agree with you, but I'm thinking about it from, I think of, that is the refrain from the customer's perspective. But as
Mhm.
I'm looking at it as looking toward the founders, and I feel like the founders ought to be able to make as much money as they possibly can off of their products, that they ought to be able to sell to a wide variety of people and maximize how much money they're able to make. Like, what is
Mhm.
wrong with that? I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. And frankly, this is how I feel about the situation. And I'm like, I don't say I don't just support Black owned businesses, but I am pretty
I don't
good about
either.
finding Black owned businesses. Shameless plug, if you're curious about what we do on the Black and Curious website, I have Black owned um, wines and spirits. I have blog posts on that. I have blog posts that I'm going to be writing about Black owned makeup companies, beauty company. I am passionate about Black owned companies. I really
Yeah.
am. And I go out of my way to support them. I
Yeah.
buy candles from Black owned companies. If I can't find the one Black owned company I like, I'll go find another one. I buy liquor. I buy products. You've seen me unbox a Brandon Blackwood bag here. Like, I am passionate about it. But like, if that person sells, then I'll just go support another Black owned business. Like,
Right. I don't disagree with you.
and
I
make
think
them a millionaire too. Like, if I don't want to support, for instance, Shea Moisture anymore, or a Carol's Lord or whatever anymore, then I will just go find somebody that is still Black owned, and I will just go from there.
yeah, I agree with you. I think maybe just for me, the issue is like this exhaustive idea that, or like existence, it's not even an idea, that in order for POC businesses, whether we are Black or Asian or Indigenous American or any other, you know, ethnicity, the fact that we have to cater to the white gaze in order to get that bag. That's the issue that I have.
I understand that. And again, I don't necessarily think it's catering. It's just a question of like, hey, you can use this too. And I think a lot of companies have had to do that with us because we don't trust their products either. It's just like, you better show it on a Black girl or I will not be over there. So it's just doing it in reverse. So like,
Yeah.
I want all of our Black founders to,
I just want everybody to have equal opportunity, period.
yeah, and I want all of our Black founders to win. And if it means like I have to support them and they go get the bag and they get a whole bunch of money and I move on to another Black founder, I'm okay with that too. Like, it is what it is for me. It's,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a business, and I want
Yeah.
Black founders to be happy and have the lives that they want, and not be beholden to this idea of you can't sell out. Like, I
Yeah.
can't.
I
I
feel you.
can't. They should be able to live the lives that they want to live as well.
Like it shouldn't be a thing of selling out. Like it should be a thing of like leveling up. And I think,
Correct.
but I think a lot of that also, like I said, comes from this idea of always having to cater to the white gaze in some sort of way, and like people of color feeling some sort of slight because you made
Yeah.
something specific to the community, and then because you wanted to be more marketable, it had to then be, you know, reintroduced with a different like look. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know.
And I think that's a fair critique. I think that's a fair critique. I think it's fair to say like, oh, we don't want to continuously be left behind. That's the same critique about gentrification, which we talked about here. So, you know, I get it. I just, at the end of the day, I think it's important to remember that, you know, our Black founders are also people and they're multifaceted and they may have other things that they want to do other than run this one company for the rest of their lives
True,
or
as you
be
should.
struggling to make enough money to scale their businesses properly or be, you know what I'm saying, doing different things to try to make it work,
Hmm.
you know. And I do hope to see, I know like we talked about here before, I think in a reality recap where Beyonce and Rihanna and some other people were coming together to form some venture capital companies. And I hope that
Oh
more
yeah,
Black,
Jay-Z
yeah.
and Will Smith actually.
And honestly, those are some of the same people that invested in Carol's daughter the first time and they got their investment back. And they were probably able to use the money from that buyout
Yeah.
to grow their own businesses. So hopefully, I hope that we are able to see more Black venture companies come to fruition and,
I
you
believe
know,
that we will.
and be able to invest in these Black owned businesses so we can keep them truly Black owned. But until then, girls sell. That's how I
Do what you
feel.
do, baby. That's all we got. You know, if you like it, we love it. And that's
Yeah.
that. I'm still gonna be buying my honey pot.
Yeah,
I
same
like the
here.
products. It
Me too.
hasn't been changed too drastically for me. So
Agreed.
um you guys drop down in the comments, let us know what you think. If you use the honey pot products, if you feel any sort of way about it, as it relates to all the things that have gone on as of late.
Mhm.
And make sure you're following us on all of our social media, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.